We are back live. Well, not live right now, but welcome back to the Clerc Podcast Show. Good to be back. It has been way too long. How long has it been, boys?
It's been way too long.
It was
6 months for me.
It's been a long time. I think
like 4 months.
Yeah, because the last one we did was the scam one, and that was with Dylan and Peter, and that was before the new year. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Mason since Under a Bridge, maybe. Yeah. I'm trying to figure that one out.
Remember that, the Bigfoot one, Mason?
Oh, yeah.
Classic
Oh,
one.
we did the ghost one here since then, probably. That was after that.
Yeah, we did a couple after that.
We'll keep you safe today.
But it's going to be a fun summer of doing podcasts. We're going to get a lot of the classic people back on. And I've been talking to Damon a lot over the past couple of weeks about the format, how we want to do it. And I think we both agreed that the best way to go is to go back to the original format, which was just kind of talking and going, the original podcast was just talking to people.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, because we tried switching it up. We tried doing a couple different things. It turned more into like a TV show at one point, and I feel like the best way to do a podcast is just sit down with people, talk to them, and discuss different things. And we can kind of narrow in on certain topics, and then we can do other podcasts where we're all over the place. Yeah. And for the viewer, we want it to be informative. We want it to be educational, maybe a little bit, but more, something interesting for you.
Insightful.
Insightful, yeah. You want it to be
fun for us too.
Fun
for us too, yeah, because we love. Yeah. I just did an interview with the Mankato Free Press, and they were asking me, "Why do you do it?" or what, and I said I want to talk to people all over Minnesota, a lot of cool people, and I want to hear their stories because a lot of people don't have a voice. Yeah. So why not have a podcast, have a voice for people? And so if anyone is listening or watching, because we're on YouTube, we're also on iTunes, any of your podcast directories. If you're listening or watching, we want you on here. We want to hear from you. Just send me an email. You can find all of our information on Facebook and on the YouTube channel. We have links and everything. So it's not hard to get a hold of us if you want to reach out, get on the podcast, because we're always looking for people.
That was a good interview too. It kind of got the excitement back up. Like, let's get back in here and do something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And everything you said was like spot on.
Yeah, so. It was one of those things where and the lady contacted me and she wanted to do an interview. And I'm like, well, we haven't even done a podcast in a while, so I feel kind of weird doing an interview about the podcast and we haven't done it. And I told her we're going to be getting going, and we waited a while after that. That interview was probably a month ago. So, but it's good to be going, and we're going to be doing it every week. We're going to be more disciplined with that, so we're going to be continuing on. So,
well, you've been a busy man. You've been on a bunch of road trips.
Yeah, and we'll kind of get into that in a second here, but we should probably introduce everybody. I'm Ethan Clerc, host of the podcast. If this is your first time watching, it is a podcast about a lot of random stuff. We talk about all kinds of stuff. So you can go back, watch. I think we're on episode 34 now. Go watch any of the previous 33 episodes. We've had a wide variety of people on, from teachers to people wanted by the government, ghost hunters, demon hunters. We've had all kinds of people on.
Artists.
Pastors, artists. I mean, it's been a wide variety of people from all different backgrounds. We don't have a specific type of person we want to talk to. It could be anybody, really. And Damon and Mason have both been on many times. So we got Mason Leopold here, friend of the podcast, been on. I don't even know how many episodes you've been on, Mason.
I don't know.
Too many to count. He's kind of he comes on, we talk about conspiracy theories and stuff, the Bigfoot guy, alien guy. I don't know what else you've been on for. Mason, a bunch of random stuff.
Random.
Colin over here, Colin Clerc, my brother.
How's it going?
Yeah, he's been on a bunch of episodes as well. And, well, pretty much every single one. You were gone for a while, Colin, but...
Few episodes I missed.
And then Damon Weinandt.
That's when I jumped in, I think.
Yeah, Damon kind of came in when Colin disappeared. Damon Weinandt has been on the most episodes of anybody, I think, besides me. You've been on like 12 or 13, haven't you now, Damon?
I would say so, and every one we say is the most fun we've had. So
yeah, they keep getting better and better.
I've probably been on 25.
Yeah.
25?
I bet.
Really? Well, someone can check that out.
I'll go count.
But this week, Damon brought it up before, we are going to be talking about the classic American road trip. And I mean, we can't really talk about that because we didn't really live during the time of when there was a classic like American road trip, which I would say Damon, you can maybe back me up on this, would probably be like the 50s.
Yeah, 50s, 60s maybe. I mean, classic depending on what you look at. I feel like you guys have been on some pretty classic ones. And classic being just a week ago maybe.
Yeah.
But no, like we were talking about before, like some of the classic ones, like On the Road, Jack Kerouac books. Like that's kind of like right in the wheelhouse of that time, I think.
Yep.
And hitchhiking across America and just getting in a car and going somewhere where maybe you don't plan or you plan on going somewhere. And I'm glad you picked this topic and talk about it, to be adventurous. So,
yeah, it is.
You guys are.
And when I say the classic American road trip, I'm glad you brought that up, Dan, because I'm not just talking about nostalgia going way back, because that is what we're modeling our road trips after, but it doesn't have to be. We're not just talking about people that were road tripping 50, 60 years ago. We're talking about doing a road trip nowadays in a time where I feel like a lot of people don't really travel by car as much anymore. It's a lot of plane. They want to get places quick. They want to get places fast. They don't want to.
People always ask us, they're like, why do you guys drive? That takes so much time.
Oh, it's sad, man. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It's like, no, that's the fun. You get to know each other better. You get to see stuff on the road that you usually wouldn't see, and sometimes the best things happen from driving in the car.
Oh, for sure. That's like it's not the destination. It's the journey. You know, it's like that. Sometimes that is the trip, and you guys are finding that out.
And so. Ethan and I are known for having car issues, and people always give us crap about that. Like,
and we'll get into that part later, but
all the time. But it's just part of it.
Every road trip we've gone on, we've pretty much had car issues, which is funny because that's part of the road trip experience. You have a car, and you're pushing your car a lot. You know, you're driving. It depends on where you're going too.
We'll talk 3,200 miles on this last one.
Yeah, it depends, and that's a pretty extreme road trip. For a lot of people who are asking us, how do you start off by doing a road trip? Because you'd be surprised how many people want to do this, but feel like they can't. They just feel like they don't have the money or the time or whatever. Time off. But I feel you don't even know. We've been on so many road trips over the weekends. So we're like, we've gone to Detroit, or we've gone to Chicago, or we've gone to St. Louis or Kansas City just on a weekend. Yep. You know, you leave on Friday and you drive overnight, and then you get there and you just start going right away, checking out stuff. And when you go on a longer trip like Mason did, where you're going all the way down to
New Orleans,
and it takes a whole week to get down there. Or not a week to get down there.
No, not a week to get down there.
I don't remember how many days it took.
3-4 days, but we made stops: St. Louis, Memphis,
Branson.
That was on the way back.
The hillbillies. We talked about
Ozarks,
yeah. And that's part of the thing too. The people you meet on the road trips. I have a lot of stuff written down here. You meet a lot of random. We met some cool guys in New Orleans. And the accent down there, you know, they have such a thick accent. They're all talking in a very weird way to Minnesotans. They probably think we got a weird accent, but everyone down there, we met these boys outside of an abandoned skyscraper. And
from them guys to the two guys fishing.
Yeah. What were those names again?
T-Swagga?
T-Snagga.
You guys have videos of these guys someday you can put up if you get permission from them or something?
I don't know if we got a video of T-Snagga. We got a picture with him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we did.
We'll put that up.
What's the most appealing thing when you set out onto your road trips? That's a good opening question for
I love
the scenery.
The scenery. Well, every city,
adventure,
every city's got something cool. Like you go to St. Louis, you're going to go to the Arch. But then there's so many other things too that people don't even know about that you can go see in these different cities. Like everyone knows about the Statue of Liberty, everyone knows about the Arch, everyone knows about the Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis. But what about all the other cool, random stuff?
That's when you might see the more genuine parts of the town. When you get off the tourist part, you might talk to the locals and they might tell you where to go.
Or we always find ourselves trying to go to the bad neighborhoods, like the worst of the worst. Like Detroit, we're in the worst neighborhood in the United States of America.
Yep.
East Cleveland.
Yep.
Like this last road trip, first stop of the road trip, we're at East Cleveland, 4 a.m.
And I'll put some video up while we're talking, but we're talking like... people are not going to believe the kind of stuff that you'll see in these horrible neighborhoods because it looks like it's directly out of a movie. We're talking like just tires, couches, houses burnt down, like people sleeping in
shot up.
Oh yeah, cars shot up.
As a movie maker, you're getting inspiration from. You see a lot of graffiti.
And people think I guarantee a lot of people think that's stuff like out of a movie. Like there's bad neighborhoods, but you're not going to see a car shot up. You're not going to see cars with like lifted off the ground, all the tires missing. No, that's actually there. Like,
it is.
It is.
I've seen it multiple
We've seen
times.
it. And I would say, if we want to get into talking about bad neighborhoods right away, because this is something I have on here. A lot of people, when they travel to different cities, they only want to stay downtown, stay by the airport, stay by all the tourist stuff. You're not seeing the authentic part of the city. You're seeing what they want you to see, like the beautiful stuff. I would highly recommend maybe not getting out of your car walking around like us, but you can just drive, look up on Google, look up I don't even know how you type this in, but you can
literally look up worst neighborhood in Detroit or St. Louis.
How about find your YouTube channel?
Yeah, there you
watch
go.
there.
Yeah. I mean, I would, but I'm just saying it's good for people to see how other people are living, because then you feel more thankful for what you have, because a lot of these horrible neighborhoods, especially if you're talking like Detroit, East Cleveland, Baltimore, big one.
Baltimore was really bad.
You just really appreciate Wyndham and Mankato because you're like, wow, it's nice here. Yeah. There's not garbage everywhere. There's not a chance of getting killed. And you go there and you're like, wow, I feel bad for these people. And a lot of the time, I don't remember who brought it up, Tyler or Colin, but they're like, why don't they just leave? They can't leave. They don't have a choice.
Yeah. You mean you'd be grateful? You're like, oh, good, we do have a grocery store, and great, our pool still has water in it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just one of those things where a lot of people don't or think that something bad's going to happen. Well, a lot of the time, if you mind your own business, you're just driving through. I wouldn't recommend going out in the middle of the night like us and walking around doing stuff like that.
You wouldn't take your family on your vacations?
No, this is more
National Lampoon's vacation.
Yeah, this is more of a friend group.
This is definitely what we're going to tell you in this podcast episode is something you do with your friends. Like, this is an adventure. If you want to go out, have a really good time, and see stuff that you're only going to see when you're young. You're not going to bring your kids here someday.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it done when we're young.
And
when we're 40, we're not going to all get together and still go on these. I mean, we might.
We might, hopefully. But it's one of those things where you can go do all the tourist stuff in the world. We will. Yeah,
That's not that.
Yeah.
We'll pick Damon up from the nursing home.
Yeah. In an abandoned one, and it's just me living in there.
You'll be some hermit living in an abandoned funeral home.
Talking to dolls.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can go see every tourist place in the United States. You're going to drop a lot of money, by the way. We'll talk about that. You're going to drop a lot of money doing all the tourist stuff. Or, I'm not saying not do that, but I'm saying go look at stuff that you're not supposed to look at. Maybe, I'm not saying you're not supposed to, but most people wouldn't, Go off into these bad neighborhoods. Go see parts of the city that are unique. Like, there's a lot of art districts, warehouse. Kansas City.
Warehouse district.
Unbelievable. The warehouse district in Kansas City. It's called the Lower Bottoms, I think is the name of it. And it's unbelievable. Right. Just like warehouses converted into art galleries.
Yeah.
And they've turned one of them into a giant like nightclub with a huge outdoor slide
that
cool. goes outside. And when are you going to see that? The tourist places aren't going to tell you to go check it out. You got to go out, look for it. We just ran into it. And then before you know it, we're driving underneath a double-decker bridge, and there's no other cars around here. Colin's driving over grates underneath it, and we're going across. We go down into this little area, all these abandoned warehouses.
Abandoned.
You could find all kinds of cool stuff just sitting back there. All these little homeless camps. Bauman opened up a door. Or was it Bauman or was it? Yeah, it was Bauman.
Yeah, I think so.
Opened up a door into one of these buildings and walked in, and there was like a candle burning.
Yeah.
And there was a bed, and there was junk everywhere.
So someone had been there like recently. That's their home.
Right.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, we better go. Like, and sometimes you run into that stuff. And then other times you run into people, homeless people, and you talk to them for a while and you learn stuff from them or whatever. Like, we ran into a couple people on the New York trip.
Yeah, we ran into people, Baltimore, New York, Philly.
Yeah. And you're like, a lot of people would be afraid to talk to people, homeless people or people that they're not used to seeing.
I mean, some you don't want to talk to. They just want your money. But some like actually just want them to like
you have to have your guard up when you're doing
you gotta have good I wrote on here street sense, all capital letters, because I feel like if you're going to be doing these road trips, I wouldn't go into it blind. You need to be aware of everything around you, especially if you're going to go do what we recommend here. You're going to want to have your guard up. You're going to want to know what to look for.
And disclaimer, if anyone goes on one of these trips and anything happens, you're not held.
I'm not. Thank you, Damon. Yeah, we're going to put a big old disclaimer up here on the what do you call on the screen, that if
we're
you're
just trying to help you out with what's worked for us.
Yeah, because
we've had fun
because we've gone on
over the years.
I don't even know how many road trips. The first road trip we ever did was Iowa, which is not the most exciting.
By yourself, like on your own.
Yeah, the first we've done family road trips, but we're more talking about friends. We've done the first actual road trip we ever did was with our friends was in Iowa.
Yeah,
we just drove way down to Iowa, like bottom of Iowa.
Did you have a final place you're heading towards, or you just say, hey, we're gonna get in the car and
we had a map?
Go.
It's actually a funny story.
It's so bad. This is like back in my earlier days of researching abandoned places. I tried to make a map. And I had like probably what, Ethan?
13,
something. I'm picturing Goonies right now.
Something around there, like 13 places. We got in 2.
No, because everything else was either torn down, renovated, or impossible to get in.
Yeah.
Just like bad research on my part, but we still had fun, made memories.
Right.
Yep.
We went to the video game capital
of the world.
Super cool.
Ottumwa, Iowa. If you're
what do they do there? They just have a ton of video games?
No, it's actually a weird story. So Ottumwa, Iowa used to have an arcade in it called Twin Galaxies, and all the best video game players in the world. This is This is 80s. Like,
okay.
All the best video game players in the world.
Pinball Wizard or
Billy
something.
Mitchell and all them were down there
playing.
He's
dropping names.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like this is like the world champion at Pac-Man and stuff, or Donkey Kong, and they were all down there, and they took a picture for Time magazine. So we went down there, went to the spot where they took the picture.
Yeah.
Just random stuff like that.
That's what's cool about road trips, too, is like, well, a lot of mine are from family experiences. And yeah, sure, when we got in high school and didn't go elaborate like the big towns and stuff, like we thought going to the Corn Palace was like an awesome, which it is an awesome road trip.
Cool, we've been there before.
But
Mitchell, South Dakota,
Mitchell, South Dakota. And it was more like a funny thing. But it's always
the Corn Palace?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's kind of an inside joke with my dad, too. Oh, we're going to go
it must be. It was our big inside joke. But like seeing those roadside attractions that you normally wouldn't see, like the biggest whatever, like biggest ball of twine, biggest rocking chair. Like
they have, and I know St. Louis has the biggest baseball bat because the Louisville, or no, maybe that was Louisville. Louisville's got the biggest baseball bat because what's the brand?
Louisville Slugger.
Yeah, Louisville Slugger. They got the giant baseball bat, and a lot of people want to. All right, so we should get into locations because I put on Instagram. If you have questions about road trips, ask us. A bunch of questions. We're not going to answer them all. We'll go through a couple. Biggest one was, how do you guys find your locations? Well, we'll start off with just regular road trip locations. If you want to look up tourist stuff, whatever.
Just literally look up Roadside Attractions.
Yeah, there's a website called Roadside Attractions, and it has all these weird. You can look up oddities too. Roadside oddities. If you want to go see, like Damon said, the biggest ball of twine.
Ball of twine.
Yeah, or they have. I know
the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah,
world's largest truck stop.
Careful with the drones over there.
Right. Take your car.
World's largest truck stop, Iowa. I can't think of what town that is. Been there a couple times.
Oasis, maybe. Yeah, my parents maybe just called me from there.
They have a bowling alley and a movie theater.
I know
You've been there, haven't you? They go there for the school trip.
Or even the Pyramid in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
Bass Pro Shop. That was
world's
awesome.
largest Bass Pro Shop in Memphis. It's an old basketball arena. They turned it into the world's largest Bass Pro Shop.
There's a creek, bowling alley, hotel,
there's
viewing.
An elevator in the middle, Damon, that runs all the way up the middle of the pyramid, and you can go to the top for like $15. We didn't do it. Because that's
just like the real pyramids.
Yeah, it's like there's an elevator right in the middle. We gotta get Sherman back on here. Tell us how they built the.
They use their minds to make the elevator go up.
No, but so for locations, if you want to find your basic stuff, just go online and type in wherever town you're going. Kansas City attractions, roadside attractions. What's that one out west? It's like The Thing. What's it? It's like there's signs all over the place. It's kind of
Wall Drug.
Wall Drug is one, but there's like signs all. Yeah, Wall Drug has signs all the way up the road going to it. You know.
Yep.
But there's another thing. It's called like The Thing or See the Thing. Or,
maybe I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like in Nevada or something. It's like and then you go pay money and you go look at it, and it's like a little merman thing, and it's like a creature that you go look at it. There's all kinds of weird stuff like that, and the coolest ones, to me, and probably Colin too, and maybe Mason, are the old roadside attractions that are like abandoned. Like they have the Flintstones.
Yes, you better get there.
The Flintstones park abandoned is like in the middle of the desert. They have a bunch of weird. There's like an abandoned Wizard of Oz theme park up in the mountains.
What about that like Mississippi River replica? Remember that?
Oh yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Where was that?
That
must have been in Missouri.
No, Mississippi
no. Or it might have been Mississippi.
I forgot about that place.
Yeah. So what it was, Damon, it was a full replica of the Mississippi River. It wasn't the Mississippi River?
Yep.
Yeah. And they had taken like a huge plot of property, laid down cement, and had carved the Mississippi River in detail.
Nice.
Every branch of
prisoners, I think, right?
Yeah,
by prisoners, yeah.
And
prisoners
old
did it.
guard towers.
And now it's abandoned.
It's all abandoned. And you can go check it out, and you park in this park, and you just walk over there.
Pretty sure it's trespassing, but...
And a lot of the stuff we're going to tell you is probably trespassing, but a lot of this stuff is just forgotten about, left behind.
Sometimes you got to risk it.
Sometimes, I mean, we're going to
That's part of that's part of the excitement, not the getting caught part so much, but like, well, maybe a little bit, but like seeing, like being the only ones there and like being like, how much time and effort went into doing this?
Completely forgotten.
What's the story behind it and why was it forgotten? And it's just like an old Western ghost town. It's just like, there's got to be like an eeriness to it when you guys are doing this and going to places.
Yeah, because... I mean, I don't even know how much money it costs, how much time, for the time it took to do that, forget about it. Mm-hmm. Like every branch of the river carved out in detail. And back in the day, they had water running through it because they're actually canals. So you'd see the water running through it. I forgot about that, Mason.
Yeah. Our prehistoric forest in Michigan, that was super cool.
Prehistoric forest in Michigan.
Like petrified wood?
No, it's an old dinosaur walk-through park.
Roadside attraction.
We'll put pictures of it. Yeah, it's an old roadside attraction. There's a weird place. If you're ever going from or where we were going. We were going from Chicago to Detroit.
Detroit.
You take I don't remember what road it is. You go up there. You can get off of the main road, which we'd always recommend. Get off the main road. Get off the beaten path. Get on back roads. You'll see a lot cooler stuff. You get off the interstate.
Waste money on tolls too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I keep saying that. We'll talk about that. We'll push it up later.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be Ethan. We'll talk about that later, Claire, or something here. But it's called Tourist Trap Michigan, and it's like Vampire School Bus or Pirate Cove Golf or Mystery Hill.
Like everything we just talked about in one place.
Exactly.
And named it what it should be.
A lot of it's abandoned too. Like Mystery Hill, where you put a ball up and it will roll up a ramp instead of rolling down. And it's just because the hill's shaped and the building's built sideways on the hill.
Well, did you start out kind of small here and like find cool areas around town? I mean, like around the area and kind of branch off and got interested in it. And
exactly. And I guess the way we got started, if we want to go into that too, was we just heard about the Loon Lake Cemetery. And we talked about this and we got in trouble for it and all kinds of stuff. There's a long story with that too. We've talked about it on other episodes, but definitely check out the stuff around you like we did around here. All the stuff around Wyndham, stuff around Jackson, stuff around Mountain Lake, and then we went to Mankato. A lot of cool stuff.
And every step of the way, you guys have learned history about it, regardless of how it's happened.
Yeah,
like,
I love looking up stuff.
That's like one of the cool parts.
And
too.
Colin always knows about. Colin's really good at keeping track. He's like, oh yeah, this place closed back in 2003, or if we're talking about a different abandoned mall or different school, he'll be like, oh yeah, this place closed in 2009 or whatever. Yeah, and then you'd be like, well, why did it close? And then you go back and you can look online. You could see, that store moved out. If we're talking about,
or you just go to it and see what kind of area it's in, and then you're like, oh, that's why it closed.
Yeah, and you could, for the malls and stuff, we find a lot of cool abandoned malls across America, and it's the same story. One big store goes out, you lose your.
Or another one was built, which was way better, and then the other ones started turning like ghetto, and then. Bam, it's gone.
Yeah, that's a lot of the time what it is too. You get these you get these sketchy areas here, and people just, I don't know if they forget about it, they move away, but then all the hotels around there close, all of the restaurants close,
all the other attractions close,
and then people just forget about it and they go on to another new mall. But why leave something that could be repaired or fixed? We've been to some malls,
no money to keep it going.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. They lose, and a lot of that stuff you can blame on Amazon, you can blame on whatever, but yeah. I think that, that's what they blame.
They just linked up with Kohl's. They're going to let you return Amazon stuff at Kohl's stores, even if you didn't buy it at Kohl's.
Really?
Anyways, that's a whole different thing, but no.
I didn't know. No, I'm actually interested in that.
Yeah.
You can. When did you hear about that?
It just came out. Like, you can just, if you get anything from Amazon, if it has a Kohl's thing on it when you buy it, if it doesn't work out, even if you didn't buy it at Kohl's, you take it to Kohl's, they'll ship it for free back.
Hey, that's how Kohl's is going to stay alive.
Kohl's is going to stay alive.
Hopefully they get foot traffic from it.
Because what happened to JCPenney Herburgers? Yep. They're gone.
Well, I'm assuming Amazon is going to flip the bill behind the scenes and give them some money, but anyways.
That's another reason why most of those malls go abandoned.
Yeah.
The anchor stores go out of business.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have one in town.
Remember that mall we went to? What was that mall?
Jamestown Mall.
Jamestown Mall, yep. St. Louis. Is that even? We were just there not too long ago.
Yeah, they're tearing it down.
Completely destroyed. From when you went, when we went, it was like untouched. Yeah. Like you're talking.
It's gone now.
No, it's not like torn down, but it's like destroyed. Like they've been driving, like bobcats in there destroying stuff. Like they're trying to tear it down or renovate it or something.
Yep. And people want to know. All right, so people want to know. Let's say you want to find an abandoned thing in that town. So here's what you do. This is the little.
This is the inside.
Number two.
Just look up abandoned places in that city.
Yeah. Oh well, that's
not how you're gonna find every spot.
If you want to find it, you're overplayed. Everyone's been their spot. Very popular spot. Anyone can look up abandoned St. Louis.
You're calling Google search.
You're gonna find. Here's what you're gonna find. Yeah, you're gonna find 13 abandoned locations in St. Louis, and then you're gonna find a list of these spots that everyone's been to in that town.
And most of them are torn down.
Torn down.
It's an old article.
It's an old article. And people who are into urbex are gonna totally see where we're coming from here. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's all. A lot of those places are gone, but a lot of the time you might find something cool. Like even we do it. We find. Like we were in, what town was that called? We found that grain elevator. I found it online.
Oh, that was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. We were running out of locations, and I'm just typing in abandoned Pittsburgh, looking at this stuff, and you do your research, you figure out if the places have been torn down, and I found this abandoned grain elevator out in the middle of nowhere. Not middle of nowhere, but out in the middle of this big quarry. Really cool. And I just checked it out, looked at a recent article. A lot of it was left, so we went out there. And I found this on Reddit. You can find a lot of stuff on Reddit too, abandoned places. We went out there, met a bunch of cool people. We explored for a while. It got dark and we left. If you want to find really unique places that not a lot of people have been, you need to do a lot of research. You need to go into Google Maps or Google, there's on your browser. You need to type in like abandoned bowling alley, and then in all capital letters, you need to type closed. Because Google, what it does is when a business closes, the owner reports it to Google, and then it puts a all capital closed.
That's only usually for malls or bowling like attractions.
Whenever we find like a cool abandoned bowling alley or mall, you type that in. You type in closed, and a movie theater too.
We've actually gotten like super lucky. Like one of the best bowling alleys we went to, we literally it was by our hotel, driving by, and I'm like, that looks abandoned, and they're like, all right, let's go check it out.
Door was open.
Front door was open.
In Detroit.
Yeah, everything was in there.
So people, if you want to know where to look for stuff,
drive around.
People don't drive around in these cities and actually look for things. They just like...
But don't go into the Sun Bowl during the summertime. It's still open.
Yeah.
It's just closed.
I always tell Ethan that. I'm like, hey, if we didn't live in Wyndham, we'd be going in there trying to find a way in.
Because it does look like an old... I mean, it's definitely a retro place.
That's an awesome place.
Damon, cool. We've done that before. We've been down in Iowa, and we're trying trying to get in the back door or something, and then we find out it's open.
Oh, yeah.
So don't break and enter.
There's a funny story about this. Yeah, do not ever break into an active or abandoned place. We were in, Colin wasn't with, it was me, a couple buddies from Chicago. We went out to the suburbs and we found this abandoned, movie theater. And we ripped open the back door and we walked into the movie theater and it was an active movie theater.
Oh, geez.
It wasn't like a movie going on. No, it wasn't like a movie going on. But there was a camera pointed right at us and we all like froze, like deer in the headlights. And we ran out of there. Yep. You got to be very careful when you're doing this stuff, and you got to know what you're looking for. You know, a lot of the times, you could plainly tell this place is abandoned. Windows are busted out, graffiti on it. Right. Like people don't care about it. If that's the case, a lot of the time you can find a back window, you can find a door open, because the owners leave and the city might take over the property, and then they don't do anything about it.
Yeah, so this is a question on point. I don't want to meet very off your list, but I'm sensing a theme of the places you go, like top 5 places. It's like malls, old schools, recreational places like movie theaters, bowling alleys, and then probably one more, pools. Pools are usually in the schools. I've seen you guys do.
Our old YMCAs.
Oh, like top 5. It seems like recreation or... I mean, and that makes you think about everything we always talk about, like why these places are closing.
Well, if you want to know the top 5 places.
Yeah, and amusement parks. You guys do cool amusement parks.
Those are like the best. Yeah. If you want to know the most common things, you're going to find schools, and hospitals, and churches.
Hospitals and churches I've left out.
Hospitals, and you will find the 2 most ones you'll see in every city, abandoned city, no matter which big city you're in, is schools and churches.
You just showed me a cathedral with just mosaic painting.
You'll see the most
immaculate details. Unbelievable. And people don't realize, if you just drive around these big cities, any big city, I don't care where you are, besides Minneapolis, you're not going to find anything in Minneapolis.
I mean, Minneapolis has a few, but...
No, you're not. You got to go to Chicago, Cleveland, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
St. Louis,
Kansas City. Yeah, any big city, Pittsburgh, Philly, New York, any big city.
We better add caves to your list because you guys do some cool caves and like.
Oh yeah,
that's Minneapolis.
That's Minneapolis, St. Paul mainly. Yeah, but schools and churches, you will literally find hundreds. I mean, they're all over the place.
I mean, we even get sick of them sometimes.
Yeah, it's the same thing kind of. Hospitals are more of your... Like I'd say
stripped
second tier
out places, but I mean, eventually, like sometimes, just in New York, we had a pretty cool one.
Yeah, like an insane asylum.
I had a lot of stuff left behind.
And then at your 4th level, you're gonna run, or 3rd level, you're gonna run into bowling alleys and movie theaters, which are pretty common, but they're hard to get into a lot of the time, especially bowling alleys.
Limited access.
Yeah,
you got like 4 or 5 doors.
Bowling alleys. How many doors does a bowling alley have? Like the main doors, and then maybe a back door. And a lot of the times they're very locked up and cameras all over. You're gonna run into your rare list, like your rare things, sports stadiums, skyscrapers, amusement parks, water parks. Those are very rare. Like you don't find them very often because a lot of the times people buy them and renovate them and open them back up, or they get torn down.
Don't forget about hotels. We found a lot of
hotels are very good.
This list is getting bigger now.
You were just going for a couple.
We've hit everything.
What'd you say? Morgues?
Well, that's a hospital.
Morgues are
that one
hard
we
to
went
find.
To on this down south trip, it was like a...
Which one was that?
Memphis.
Where was it, Con?
In Memphis.
Yeah, but what was it in? A hospital?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
It was in the basement. It was the brick one. Yeah, I can pull up the picture.
Huh. You have to let me know a picture.
Right next to that big hotel.
You can throw it on the screen.
Yeah.
That one, okay.
I don't remember. And then you find your apartment buildings and houses, which you want to avoid at all costs. 100% we never go into. Rarely apartment buildings like the Tower. I have that on here because that's a good story. The Tower restaurant
that was
in St.
scary.
Louis. And I have a story for you about that. The apartment buildings and houses are the sketchiest places you can go.
Heads.
Yeah.
Meth heads, crackheads, drug deals.
We got to restart.
Anything like that, they're going to be in houses.
Yeah.
And everyone always asks you, you run into homeless people? Not really in any, no. Not in like schools, churches. We never, very rarely. The only time you're going to run into homeless people is in old abandoned houses and apartment buildings. Yeah. Because their stuff's there.
Yeah.
The beds are there.
There's not a lot of exciting things to see in a house and an apartment building.
They're not worried about people coming in, but I think homeless people have cottoned on to urban exploring and people running into them that they're going to be used to seeing that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's definitely, if you are going to do this stuff, do not go into houses or apartment buildings. And to touch on what I was
even hotels are sketchy.
They can be.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the hotels we go to still have the beds in it. We've been to quite a few that actually still have the power on.
Fresh ones.
Yeah, very fresh.
And to kind of go on, this has happened on a road trip. So the Down South road trip, which was me, Colin, Mason, and 2-in-1, we went to, it's called the Tower Restaurant and Apartment Building in St. Louis. And I was doing research online before we went, and it said there's a strong presence of homeless. We usually don't we're not usually armed. Like, we don't really bring, like, knives and stuff. But if we ever hear that there's potential for people that are maybe not mentally all there, we always have stuff out. I'm pretty sure
my big old, like, buck-sitting knife.
Mason had a big buck knife, and 2-in-1 had a knife too. And, it's definitely not a good idea to go into private property with a weapon because you can get in a lot more trouble. But for our own safety, we feel like you need to have you have to have self-defense.
Like a last resort,
Yeah. And
at that point, people are like, oh, why'd you go?
I mean, maybe all the time.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. We usually don't, to be honest with you.
It's a cool place, historic. And
yeah. We get to the top, we get to the restaurant, super cool. We get up on top, we get pictures of the letters and everything. It's a big circle building. Like, it's like a giant circle, and the apartments go all the way up it. There's a big restaurant on the top. And we're on our way back down. We're like, we might as well check out some of the apartments, see what they're like. Completely full. Everything's like fridges, beds.
Oh, I thought you meant with people.
No. Well, there was somebody in there.
Someone was in
there.
We're
walking around on one of the floors, and all of a sudden we hear like
footsteps.
Yeah. Somebody walking, we all freeze, and they all pull out their knives, and we're just standing there. And then you go into like survival mode because you're like, somebody could pop out and they could stab you.
Get a huge adrenaline rush.
Yeah. You definitely get like you're in the mode. You're like survival mode, and people are gonna be like, this is so stupid. Go try it. You'll get the same feeling.
You get cooking. You like become stronger, faster. Like mentally,
all of your senses. You can smell better. You can see better. You can hear better. Everything.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird, and that's maybe part of the addiction of urban exploring because your adrenaline's
I've
going.
had jobs like that, so I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
We better talk about the skyscraper in New Orleans.
Oh, for sure.
Let's finish this one first.
Yeah, so we hear something, and then
we haven't finished many stories.
And sometimes we'll be like, we kind of keep jumping around. Sometimes we'll be like, is anybody there? Like, we're not trying to do anything, but this time we're all dead quiet, and we're just like, we get into the stairwell, and then you get down and you get out of there, and you're just like, we don't want to cause any issues. Some people might be looking for problems. We're not trying to do that. And we get out of there, and then I go online, and I haven't told Mason this yet.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
but
here we go.
This place is like a sex slave, just like it's known for sex slavery. Like, they bring kids and girls and people there. They put them in cages, and apparently if you go on rooms on the second, third, fourth floor, there's cages in the rooms, and there's like chains for necks and stuff, like feet. They're all over, and the cops had to go on there many times and rescue people. And I don't know if it's still going on.
Up.
Yeah. But we didn't know like that when we went in, and I don't think we would have if we would have known that. Because you don't want to mess with anybody who's like kidnapping people, doing that.
And if they see you, like, that's another thing. You go into one of these places where if you see a drug dealer or something, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, if they see
that
you.
That happened to Dan Bell.
Yeah.
Dan Bell.
Yeah.
Dan Bell, this guy, big urban explorer on YouTube. He was in Baltimore, which we'll talk about that later, of course. Dan Bell was in this house, which is, like we said, stay away. And he heard people coming in, and he was there at night. He went into the bathroom and shut the door. And he
was in an apartment building, actually.
And this wasn't staged. This is
a real thing. And they started doing a drug deal in the other room. And because in the video, he went up and he saw their Coke in bags. He's like, what is this stuff? And then he picked it up. He's like, oh my gosh. He put it down. Then he heard people
And
come
then he
in.
starts like,
He's like, oh my gosh, please, Jesus, please. Because if they would have came in the room, they would have killed him. They would have killed him.
He's like crying.
Yeah, in the video, you can hear him praying to God like that. You can tell what state you have to be in that moment.
Kind of like Colin in the closet in Mousetrap.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. But it's a very real situation, and it's something that could happen.
But that's where they trap. They trap out of the bandos.
Yeah, they trap out of the bandos. That's a very real thing.
Sorry.
The rappers aren't kidding.
Yeah,
I was gonna say before you went to the sex that stuff. Thinking about like it's got to bring you like as a filmmaker some like real life experience when you're shooting scenes, like not that type of scene, but like the running around like in Mousetrap for real, like with a guy running around a building. We're in the Bark right now.
Yeah,
like it's got to help for making movies like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
those real situations make you
growing.
Yeah, you definitely like. Oh my gosh, it's a very real thing, and then you're like, well, I can transform that into a scene.
Yeah,
100%.
Get some ideas.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What
story are we talking about, Mason? Though
the New Orleans trip.
Oh, the skyscraper.
The skyscraper.
So
the second tallest building in New Orleans.
For everyone that doesn't know, we went on a big road trip down to New Orleans this past summer, and we hit a bunch of stuff on the way down. But in New Orleans, there's a giant skyscraper which is abandoned. The tallest building. Second tallest building in New Orleans is abandoned, which is crazy.
Safest spot in New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, actually, we had a really good time in New Orleans. I thought all the people were very nice. Yeah, me too. We get downtown, we get to this abandoned skyscraper, and we're like checking it out. We find a way in through these boards, whatever. Crawl in there, we go. It was a mother to get up top because we were sweating so bad. It was hot outside.
The humidity was
We're talking
like
50 floors, 50 flights of stairs going up. We get to the top, amazing view, unbelievable.
Best view I've ever had.
Yeah,
really?
You can see the football.
You got pictures of it? You might be throwing some pictures up, right?
I'm going to put pictures up,
Because that'll be fun for everyone to see.
Yeah, you can see the stadium. We got video and stuff of this,
links
too.
to your videos.
Yeah, and we'll put all the links to the road trip videos because we have a bunch of them. But amazing view. We go down, and we get to the bottom, and we hear people down there, like all these kids I'm telling you about, and they're trying to get in, obviously. So I like peek my head out, and they're like, oh, they all jump back quick. I scared them.
Yeah.
And so we all climb out, and we're like, oh, they're like, oh, bro, what's going on? How do we get in here? We're like, yeah, just go through there, go up the stairs. Before you know it, there's somebody in there
putting up boards so
with a drill. They're drilling
boards.
We were walking up
there, though, I was like seeing piles of poop everywhere. I'm like,
human poop.
This is human poop right here. They're like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Human poop.
No, we saw a few.
Yeah, and one of them was really fresh, so. We get out, Damon, and there's a guy drilling boards up as we're leaving. Like, we just got out of here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, and those kids are like...
Of course, I had to go out last. I'm like, someone's definitely behind me, but I'm not turning around.
Yeah, so this homeless guy lives in there, and it's his home, and he was obviously out begging or whatever, and he just got home, and he was putting the boards back up.
Oh, sure.
And so those guys, all those kids from New Orleans are like, nah, man, we're coming in.
And they're like, I'm going to beat your ass, bro.
Hey, I'm not trying to hurt you, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm coming in. Yeah. I gotta see the skyline, bro.
Hey, so the kid like grabs up 2 bars, jumps up in the air, swings back, and kicks the boards off.
Oh no!
And they all went in. They're all like, "We're coming in, bro."
This is after like an hour though. We were outside talking to these guys for what, like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour.
It was a long time.
It was the funniest thing. These guys were hilarious.
And we got.
I gotta meet up with them again.
Yeah. Hey, they got to the top, and the homeless guy just like must have let him go because he couldn't do anything. There was like 10 of them.
Yeah, Ethan got one of their numbers, and they're calling us up in FaceTime
in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And New Orleans also has the abandoned Six Flags, which is just that was the whole like
the Holy Grail.
Yeah, the Holy Grail of Urbex right now.
I was scared of alligators.
Oh, you could hear the alligators in there, like.
But I'd say
that's what I meant. Like a skyscraper, get out of that water, get high.
Yeah,
I'd say almost every road trip has like a main purpose, like a main point why we go on. That was definitely
New Orleans or the down south road trip was about going to Six Flags, 100%. Like we wanted.
And the New York trip was.
Going to
New York.
Yeah,
but we also hit some of the coolest stuff we've ever seen on the way.
It's the journey.
It is. And talking about road trips, so another question people ask, I better pull some.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to some of the stuff.
Yeah, we're getting off topic a little bit here, talking about urban exploring. But a lot of the stuff people were asking me is, how do you afford it? How do you afford to go on these adventures or whatever?
And people always ask me that at work. They're like, "Oh, you're going on another vacation?" I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't consider.
Well, what's the big one? Gas money.
gas money or hotels.
And so we'll break it down for people. When you go on these road trips, you need to, first of all, you don't need a lot of money. Everyone's like, oh, it probably costs.
First of all, you need a reliable car.
You need a good car.
Mine have never been because we've had so many problems, but we still keep taking it.
And the most of the time, what we have with Colin's car, I said we talk about it. We're talking about it. Tire. We pop a tire. Like in Detroit, we ended up popping a tire in the worst neighborhood.
You have a spare, at least?
I do. It's a donut.
Yeah. And
so then I go to Walmart in the morning. I wake up before these guys go to Walmart.
Yeah. Detroit, we get a flat tire in the worst neighborhood, and everyone's you probably
the worst neighborhood in Detroit.
Yeah. And we're pulling up to the 7-Eleven, and there's all these people, and we even got money from a guy to blow up our tire because we didn't have enough quarters to blow it up.
Yeah, the guy people are coming up to us. Hey, you guys are right. You guys need help. All that.
There's all these stereotypes about these people in these neighborhoods.
Isn't that National Lampoon's Vacation where they strip all 4 tires off?
Yeah, in St. Louis, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stereotypes on it, but you just got to go out, talk to people, meet them, and then you're cool with them. Like they want to hear about your stuff. They want to hear about your life, and you want to hear about their life. Then you're fine. Like a lot of the times, if you don't judge people or whatever, you're gonna have no issue with them. But a lot of the people just can't even get to that step. But yeah, like a lot of the issues are flat tires, whatever. One time we had like a ball joint or something in Colin's car. It was bad.
Tie rods.
Are you sleeping on these cars, or you gotta get a hotel room?
That's the second step.
I have slept in my car quite a few times.
The second step for the road trips is sleep. And what we usually do, here's a tip for people. If you're going on a road trip, you need to get Priceline, you need to get Hotels.com, you need to get
Express deals on Priceline.
Trivago, and you need so if you're using Priceline, you need to use Express deals. You go on the map, you literally find the cheapest hotel. And everyone's you're probably staying in the crapper inn.
They're not that bad.
No, they're not that bad.
They're not that bad. They're not amazing.
Not compared to what you're seeing.
No, You
the
want
one we stayed in had like a pool and stuff.
Yeah,
that was cool.
You want to look for Express or Extended Stay America is actually a really good one. It's like a 2-star.
Red Roof Plus was
and
decent.
Red Roof Plus, they're both like 2-star hotels, but they're like really nice. Like all the rooms are good. The extended stays have a kitchen, a full kitchen.
Well, people leaving the reviews are expecting too much.
They are. Yeah. And the thing is, if you're going on these road trips, you're only sleeping there. We literally get to the hotels at like 10 o'clock at night, get up at 9. So you're only there for a couple hours.
We get there way later than that.
And most of the time we get to the hotels at 3 a.m. We got check in, and then we get up at 10 o'clock. So we're not there very long. You're not looking for the.
It's more about the shower and just somewhere to sleep that's warm.
I'll keep at food. Do you pack your own sandwiches? Like
No.
Like family vacations with soggy sandwiches?
Because I have on here, if you're going to go on a road trip, you need to plan it out, but you want to usually eat one meal a day at a fast food restaurant, get the $5 meals
McDonald's.
at KFC, McDonald's. Yeah, because you can't do that. But then we go to a local place. Like when we were in Memphis, we had to go try the barbecue.
I'm glad you said that because that's part of the travel. Like,
exactly. People are like, well, how do you afford? Well, you can't do every meal eating out at Olive Garden in the nicest restaurant in town. But you need to at least try what the local food is. Like when we go to Philly, we eat at Jimmy G's cheesesteaks. Yeah. You got to go try.
You'd regret it if you didn't.
Yeah, you need to go try. If you're going to Memphis, go try the barbecue. And we went to like a pretty bad neighborhood and ate a barbecue restaurant. Everyone was like loving it that we were there. Very nice
Southern
people.
Comfort for sure.
Did you have crab legs in New Orleans? Did you hit it?
No, we ate a local fast food restaurant down there. It was horrible. Yeah. I don't remember the name of it. Not good.
Hey, what was that one that was out in the middle of nowhere, like in the swamps?
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I have it written down in my notes.
And then another classic restaurant for us, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake.
There's like none in Minnesota, but everywhere around, there's Steak and Shakes. You get the 4 for $4. You get the burger, the fries, maybe another fries, and like cookie for $4. Crazy deal.
It's right here. It was in Independence, Louisiana. I wrote it down.
Some really small community.
It's right here, Damon. Lisa's Drive-In, Independence, LA, out in the middle of like a random small town. And then in Memphis.
Those are the best places.
Memphis, it was A&R Barbecue. If you're in Memphis, A&R Barbecue, 100% would recommend.
We definitely have to do that trip again.
It was a lot of fun. So like I said, you want to get one meal in at a local. Look up local. And usually what I do is diners are the best in these towns. Look up local diner. And then look for the one with the most reviews. And you don't want to eat at some big chain. You want to find like Lisa's Diner, Al's Diner in Cleveland. Amazing food. Al's Diner.
And then a few more things. Try to get a case of water. So then you don't have to go to the gas station. And it's so tempting to buy Mountain Dew or chips and all that.
Yeah. And go to Sam's Club and get like candy.
Yeah,
you can get a box of candy.
Yep. There you go. Yep. And then another thing to avoid gas stations all the time and using the bathroom, pull over on the side of the road.
Oh yeah, because if you especially
just run down in the bushes quick and piss.
It depends if you're a girl, it's harder. But if it's a bunch of guys, because here's what we made a big mistake on the New York trip. We got off the interstate, you go through a toll to pee, then you get back on the interstate, you have to pay a toll to get back on.
That's what your water bottles are for, Colin.
Right?
Hey, I tried doing that on the trip, stage fright, couldn't do it. So it's hard to pee in a car sometimes, but
trucker bombs in the dishes.
Yeah, definitely. And get off into these small towns and go drive around in random little small towns on these trips, because you go to all these big cities. Why not hit some smaller towns on the way? See what it's all about, because you find some weird, random. Where did we stop calling Youngstown, Ohio, or whatever? Or Youngstown,
Ohio.
Was it Ohio? Mm-hmm. Weird little town, bunch of abandoned places, but
it's not small.
It isn't. It's pretty big.
It's a college town.
Oh yeah, well actually it was pretty big.
But it's very run down, just like Cleveland.
Yep.
Very run down. Lots of homeless people. Lots of abandoned places.
Yep.
Cool town though. It feels small, but it's decent sized.
Yeah, I mean it's all comparable. I mean that costs nothing compared to the experience you get out of it. I mean the sense of adventure, the freedom. You have nothing to worry about. Like if you have a week set aside where you don't have to worry about something to get back to. I mean that's just got to be invigorating about what you
so
do.
Much fun.
That's another thing I keep telling myself, because I've been on so many road trips lately, and people are like, "What about money and all that?" I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'm only this young once.
When you're still taking care of your business back here.
Yeah. I mean, you got to save up money. But if people want to know, like when we go to Detroit, we go to St. Louis, we go to Kansas City, which are all about the same distance away, roughly. You spend about $100 or less. Like when we did all those road trips.
Especially if you have 4 people. Never bring 5.
Yeah.
Never pack 5 into a 5.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah. It's bad.
You always want to bring 3 or 4. And you will never have an issue spending a ton of money if you have 4 people, because you just split everything.
It depends what you do though for restaurants and all that.
You need to be smart about everything, and you need to ration it out so you're not eating at the super expensive restaurants, staying in nice hotels all the time. You gotta be smart about it. You're not going for the comfort, you're going for the adventure. That's what it's all about. And I have a couple more things written down in here. Everyone, when you want to go somewhere, you want to get souvenirs. Like I bought this hat when we went to New York. I bought it in Chinatown.
I bought this.
So it's real.
Yeah, yeah.
Crew neck in Chinatown.
They're like very real, Supreme. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that's Supreme. I'm sure they're selling the $9 Supreme crew neck.
Dude, it was hilarious. So we go in the Chinatown, and they always want to bargain with them.
Yeah,
25, 20. 22, 21.
All right, come up front right now. Because then they want to seal the deal right away. Like this hat, they're like $30. I'm like,
that's
20.
The fun part of it though.
I'm just looking at like a bobblehead on the thing. I don't want it. I'm just looking at it.
How much you want for that?
$18 up front right now. Right. I'm like, I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I just bought 4 things. I don't need anything else.
Those are BEET Beats headphones.
Hey, they did have D. They had D headphones in Chinatown. Instead of the B, they had D.
D, that's awesome. You should have got me a pair, because I would have worn them.
They had AirPods. They had off-brand AirPods.
Tylen almost bought a pair, I think.
Real AirPods.
How about Versace, stuff like that? I mean, purses,
anything. Tommy Hilfiger, any of it, it's all fake. But, I mean, we knew we were getting
Don't say that, though. They get all mad.
Yeah, you don't want to tell them that. They get all mad. But, like I was saying, souvenirs. When you go places you want to get souvenirs, don't go to your souvenir shop. Go to like weird, like vintage places, and you can find cool souvenirs. Like I wrote on here, license plates, signs, random stuff. Like usually get a license plate from everywhere we go.
Yeah. A souvenir kind of to me is just taking like a group picture or multiple group pictures, because then I print them out, put them on my wall.
Yep. And because if you go to these souvenir shops, you're going to be spending $30, $40 on a T-shirt or a hat. Like, there's no point. I found a cool Illinois license plate just sitting on the side of the road.
I collected rocks when I was a kid, so I'd pick up rocks from the places I go. And
there you go.
Like even Onyx, like
right on there or something.
Yeah.
We usually write, like I've taken like bowling balls or stuff like that. We write on it like Chicago trip.
Yeah,
this date,
and we're not encouraging stealing, but if there's something sitting in a building that's clearly about to be torn down or
in the ditch or something.
Yeah, you find a lot of weird stuff on the side of the road for sure. Like license plates all over the place, or you can find signs knocked over. Be careful. Obviously, you don't want to get caught taking some dumb thing, but if it's there, why not take it? Otherwise, it's just going to get thrown away.
You have a first aid kit, Ethan? Do you carry a first aid kit?
I do have a first aid kit. Ran out of Band-Aids.
That's a major problem, because I always cut myself.
Take someone CPR certified. I'm going through that right now.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to be careful, and you want to, when you're going to these dangerous places and you're doing like urban exploring, you need to watch where you're stepping.
Yeah, get your tetanus shot.
Yeah, get your tetanus shot. I stepped on a
I put a nail through my foot. Yeah.
Yeah, I stepped on a nail on this past trip. We went to New York.
Fire ants and
God, we're going to this abandoned hospital, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. We were by
Jackson. We're an hour west of Jackson, Mississippi.
Yep, and we're in this abandoned hospital, climbing through the woods. We all climb over this log. We put our hands on it. Fire ants all over, and then you're just like, ah! And Mason over here screaming at the top of his lungs.
I'm like, Mason, we're trying to get in this place.
You're not trying to get caught. They do hurt. Yeah. And there's other random stuff too, like bees and these other, like when you go down to Louisiana, the alligators, like we're not used to that kind of stuff.
We're just walking around in this abandoned theme park, Six Flags abandoned,
and you hear they make a weird noise
swimming through the water, and you look over at the pond, and you could see the tail.
I was scared. I was gonna see like one alligator like running across like
dude, I'm climbing that roller coaster ASAP.
Oh
yeah. And a lot of the times, around here we're used to like, we'll walk through that little pond or little puddle there, but in New Orleans, you might run into some, who knows what, maybe some snake.
So be aware of your
demon on God.
Maybe a demon.
So be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah. And a lot of the times it's just doing a simple research of what you're dealing with. A lot of the times people go into it blind. Gotta have the street sense when you're doing these road trips. Like if you want to do something like we're doing, you gotta have the street sense. You can't be dumb about things. So that's a lot of the times what it is. Other stuff I wrote on here. Stories from the road trips that we've had, which we wrote down. I wrote down running from security, which is a classic one. It happens quite a bit. We just ran from security on this past road trip. We're in an abandoned mall, and
literally just going inside. And
security comes flying around the corner in their car.
Probably going like 40.
And we just booked it out of there. Like we were running as fast as we could. We had to hide in the woods.
Starts downpouring
in the pouring rain. And we're telling people, we're warning people.
It's part of the experience.
It's part of the experience.
It sucked at the time. We were all so pissed off. These two, Tylen and Ethan, were so mad at me.
Yeah, because we didn't want to do it.
Just wait tomorrow or the next day in the morning. We were all laughing about it. Like, hey, we got out of there safe. It was stupid, yes, but it's a good memory to look back on and a good adrenaline rush for sure.
So you guys never made it in?
No. Well, we made it in. I was in there for like a couple seconds,
20 seconds,
and then I saw
maybe?
Security coming, and we had to book it. So.
We're running from alarms.
Woo, 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 woo. That happens quite a bit too. We're warning you right now. If you want to do the stuff we're doing, you need to be very careful because you can get a lot of trouble for this, and we would not recommend it. You don't need to do this to go on a road trip. You can go see cool stuff without having to.
And
get
we
in
do
big
that
trouble.
too. People are like, oh, you guys only see abandoned places. No, we
went up in the St. Louis Arch, and we go check out the tourist stuff too. But a lot of the times,
we went to Central Park and we went to the Rocky Steps and
we did a lot of that. But then it's also fun to go do stuff that most people wouldn't get to see.
I'd go with friends, so like you're in the car, you're not all on your phone, like you're making those memories and stuff, and you're like talking about stuff, and you're doing cool
and
stuff
seeing
like that.
weird stuff when you're
looking
driving.
at the scenery and looking out the window.
Maybe put a good tune on and all sing together.
Yeah, sing together.
Yeah, who's making the mixtapes when you guys go?
Yeah, well, and that was
iPod channel.
To be funny, I did get a question from somebody that said, "Who gets to play the music on the road trips?" And I'm like, "Well, usually it's the driver, And if we take turns driving, then that driver gets to play music."
My brother said the most annoying thing about road trips is if someone's the DJ and they never listen to a full song and they just keep skipping through songs.
They get all mad at me because I tend to play
the same songs all the time.
I have quite a few favorite songs.
I think you'd be a good one, Colin.
I do have a lot of good songs.
And then you hear the same. Wait, didn't we just hear this song like 20 minutes ago or something?
And then
what is this, 4 songs?
I must have been on his playlist. I don't know. Or maybe he was on mine. Who knows?
Yeah. And one more thing I wrote in here while we're talking about souvenirs.
No, that was the problem. He was on my playlist when he was.
I wrote on here Five Below and Walmart. Now, before you judge me
no
on
guess,
this,
I'm trying to guess.
Yeah, take my word for it here. So we're in Philadelphia, and it's pouring rain. We go to a Five Below. You know what Five Below is? Everything's $5 or less.
Okay.
It's a new store that they're coming up all over the place.
There's one in Mankato, right?
Yeah, there's one in Mankato. And they sell local stuff for the area. So I found a cool Philadelphia T-shirt for $5, and it said "City of Brotherly Love." Guarantee, if I were to find that shirt similar to that in a souvenir shop, $30, because they can upcharge a tourist from another country or whatever. $5, and if you go to Walmart, a lot of the times Walmarts have like a local section. You could find like a cool New York shirt or a cool New York thing. You don't have to go to these souvenir shops, waste all your money that you could be spending on
tourist. And some of the restaurants. I mean, like if you come to Wyndham, River City Eatery has their little Wyndham section and some other
local restaurants
there,
like Tony Paco's in Toledo, Ohio.
Oh,
highly recommend. MASH the TV show.
Yep.
That was Tony Paco's, the
cool.
restaurant from it. Very
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the best chili I've ever had in my life. Best chili.
I used to buy
Yeah.
I buy a lot of T-shirts from like truck stops and stuff too because that's just cool.
Yep,
like,
and I bought a Tony
who's gonna get
Packhouse
that?
T-shirt. I wear it once in a while. And like that's a good recommendation. These restaurants that are like the local area, a lot of the time they have a little gift shop.
Yeah.
You go buy stuff
Support
and
'em.
you want to support them, and you also it's cool to have a memory of you like you were there. And like I got this hat, Chinatown. Just I mean
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't pay full price for it, so that's a good deal to me. So you don't have to go spend.
Probably Derek Jeter's.
Yeah. You don't have to go spend a ton of money on these road trips. Everyone's like, well, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? You know,
Keep them cheap.
keep them cheap. Don't be an idiot with your money, and
Right.
you won't have any issue at all. Like, there's no reason that you need to spend $300, $400, $500 on a 2-day, 3-day road trip. You know, if you're doing a week road trip, you might be spending more money because you're going for that long. And you know, accidents happen. We made a lot of mistakes on the New York trip with tolls.
Spent like $130 in tolls.
No.
Yeah.
Just the route you were taking? Or
Yeah.
what?
Dude, there was one toll that was $19. We had to go through a $12 toll twice.
Twice,
Hey,
yeah.
Everything's
just
they
like
rip
five
you
times
off.
as
In
much.
New York,
just New
they
York
rip
City,
you
it's
off.
like
Chicago, it's like
six.
change, isn't it? Like
Chicago's cheap. If you want to go,
Chicago's
you
like-
can actually take a toll or a non-toll route to Chicago, and it's like 20 minutes more. Like you can
Well,
go.
everything's like 5 times at least expensive in New York. Like just the like,
Oh my
way that
gosh,
it is.
it's
People
crazy.
make money there.
Colin got a parking ticket by Times Square. We paid for the parking, so like we're disputing it, but we'll probably end up losing with our luck. So you know,
Tolls now too. They just record you. You don't even have to stop at a lot of
nope,
places.
nope.
boom,
You just
and-
boom,
Well,
fly through 'em.
some you do have to
Some-
stop.
how much was the toll then? Like how much was
Which one?
Total?
the fee?
Total for everything.
No, like the guy or the parking ticket.
Oh, it's like 115.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't pay that.
And I don't think you have to pay. Like if you don't
what
ever
are they gonna
plan
do?
on
It's
going
New
back to
York.
New York.
like
City.
Homer
I
Simpson.
plan on going
Is
back
it-
to New York.
He just left his car on Times Square and just had all his
Really?
tickets and boots and
Dang,
Yeah.
that's what Colin should have done. We could have just flown home.
loved it.
But that's the other thing. Avoid flying, you know. You want to have a car so you can get around places. Don't fly somewhere. Get on the road because that's what this whole thing's about. Road trip. You need to go out, make the memories, not be wasting money on
They've
plane
all
tickets.
been fun.
Oh, yeah. Every single one of them is an adventure. We always have crazy
Start
stories.
small too. I mean, you don't have to go. I mean, go to the Corn Palace.
Yeah, go to the Corn
Go
Palace.
to Minneapolis.
Go to Minneapolis.
People don't even go to Minneapolis, St. Paul is some of the most
Duluth. I was just thinking
yeah.
Duluth.
Duluth, Brainerd, unbelievable
Yeah.
cool places, and people don't even go check those out, and they're from around here. Like if
Yeah.
you want, don't
Wisconsin's got a ton.
Yeah.
I can think of the top of my head.
somebody that's never done it before shouldn't start off and go to New York or New Orleans. Like there's no point in doing that. You are gonna run into all kinds of issues. You need to start small, like we did.
Let's
go to
urban
Iowa.
exploring in Canada this summer.
That would be fun.
That's funny because I
I
was
got
just
my
thinking like
passport, I'd go.
A road trip out of the country would be very
Yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah.
go to Canada and see some different things. And I don't know what their laws are regarding urban exploring. And
Find
trespassing.
I saw some specials on like ex-Olympic places. It looked really cool. Like when they build
yeah,
Olympic
yeah.
sites and then they
Yep.
just abandon
They
them.
abandon everything.
We were just talking about this. Who was I talking about it with? Thailand or something? These abandoned Olympic stadiums because
Yeah.
the Olympics come in and they're
Like
horrible. for
luge
the
tracks and stuff.
town. Oh my
like,
gosh! Every town, Atlanta had the Olympics in
yeah.
'96.
You
or
almost can't
97.
give the Olympics away now because of that. Like,
No, and the thing is, they come in, they build these brand new state of the art
shouldn't say
stadiums. They come in, they build these brand new state of the art stadiums, and then what happens after the Olympics leave?
Yep.
The town don't need them.
Yep.
So there's these giant.
Well, the last one they
stadiums.
built a golf course, and that was a beautiful golf course. When they had the first year they had golf, or wherever it was last summer, and we're like, I bet you that's
Where
not.
was it last summer?
Where
Was
was it? Because it was like in a place that went.
No,
golf
it wasn't
course.
last summer. It was 2016.
Yeah.
It was Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yep.
So they built that golf course, and I'm like, I hope they keep that course up. I guess they didn't. Like, it's
Really?
Just, yeah. Just like,
Oh, it's sad, and they build these amazing hotels and stuff, and like Berlin, Athens, Greece has a giant abandoned Olympic complex. I know Atlanta does. And while we're talking about big complexes, Houston, the Astrodome, and they just tore down the Pontiac Silverdome, which is where the
yeah,
Lions
because the
used
Twins
to
are
play.
playing in the new one tonight. They got
Oh,
to play in
really?
Houston. Yeah.
Yep, there's the abandoned stadium in Houston is still there. We've
Yeah.
never been down to Texas before, but that'd be a place to definitely hit on the road trip.
We got to hit the what's it? Twin wanted to hit it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's a town, right?
Yeah, they
What?
had that shootout in the '90s.
Oh, he wants to go down to Texas. We talked about this on the
Waco.
podcast. Waco.
Waco,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a place.
Yeah.
There's still people down there. We heard
Yeah,
about talking
yeah.
down there.
Who was on that? Joyce was on that podcast.
That was a downer one. I mean, that was an
Yeah, it
interesting
was-
one. Go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. Yeah. Go check it out. Yeah, I don't remember what episode that
I don't
was.
remember.
Saw that one.
But I mean, this should give everyone a pretty good start to a road trip. Like, if you honestly, I think we answered a lot of the questions here. A lot of them were just like, where do you get your places? Another big thing we touched on, but like, go talk to people in the area. Like, go meet people. Go talk to people you wouldn't normally talk to. We talk to a ton of cool people in New York.
Yeah, make friends
Baltimore,
with the locals.
Cleveland.
They'll help you out.
Oh yeah, big time. Ask them about restaurants.
Or on the opposite, just don't plan a thing. Jump in the car, pick a direction, and go.
We never plan anything. We're like, we know what cities we want to go to, but we don't know what day, if we'll ever make it. We don't have an issue canceling out a location or whatever.
I mean, if you haven't been to Kansas City, go to Kansas City.
Go to Kansas City. And do not plan anything.
No.
Don't book a hotel until the day of. Don't do any planning.
It's another way 100%.
To do it. People want to go on this, all right, we're going here, here. Don't do it. Get in your car. Know where you're going, like east, west, north, south,
GPS it.
and just go and have a good time. Not worry about a thing, because when you get back to your everyday life, you're gonna have to get back on your schedule. Go for a couple days without a schedule. Just see how things go.
It always sucks coming back to reality after the last
After
day,
you go on a week road trip and everything's just like insane, and you get back to reality, it just sucks. I mean,
your reality's okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying life sucks, but I'm saying it's when you go on these road trips, you're so free and you can do whatever you want. And then like you go on these road trips and everything just flies by, and then you get back and it's like you miss it. You want to go on another one, and maybe that's why we keep doing it.
No, that is for sure what you're doing. That's what. You answer the questions. What I do. I mean, that's.
Yeah. So we could go cover the final things one more time here. If you want to go on a road trip, you need to get cheap hotels, use Priceline Express Deals, and you need to book a hotel. You don't know which hotel it is because Express Deals, it just gives you a random hotel and then it tells you what it is. You don't, and that's part of their deal. You get a really cheap hotel.
Part of the excitement.
Random hotel. Yep. You need to get a reliable vehicle. Not
the Prism.
Not the Prism. Yeah. That's
so we aren't really good examples of that.
Yeah. Get a reliable vehicle that gets good gas mileage and pack your friends in it so you can split the gas money.
But no more than 4.
Yep. No more than 4. You need to try the local cuisine. 100% try the local cuisine.
One time out of 2, eat fast food the other time.
Yep.
I'm just hoping.
Yep. There you go. Yep.
Hey, bring water.
Bring a case of water. Bring
so
snacks.
You're not tempted
bring
in the gas
snacks.
station.
Pee on the side of the road.
Pee on the side of the road.
If it's safe. I don't know about that one, but okay.
Go off the beaten path. Get out of your comfort zone. 100% get out of your comfort zone. Go look at the bad parts of town.
Talk to the locals.
Talk to the locals. Maybe not in the bad part of town, but talk to people. Who cares? Talk to people in bad areas of town.
Just get to know them.
Take video or journal at least to remember some of this stuff.
100%. Bring a camera. Bring your phone. Take pictures to make memories. Take videos to make memories. And most importantly, have fun. Have fun. That's what it's all about. Have a good time. Have fun with your buddies, because in the end, you're going to come back. You're going to get back to work. You're going to miss the road trip 100%. Anyone else has any other questions, you can contact us on the YouTube, Facebook.
I can't wait to see all the pictures you throw up on the video. So if you're listening, go check it out too, because there should be some good pictures on there. I'll watch it.
Check out our Instagrams too. Ethan, I should put those down.
I'll put all of our Instagrams. Damon's going to get an Instagram here soon.
Everyone's asking.
Yeah, I'll put Mason's Instagram on there, because
might get a Skyline pick.
Might get a Skyline pick. For everyone watching, though, we are on iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you very much. We're on YouTube. We're also on any of your favorite podcast directories. It has been a great episode here, and we will be back next week. Not sure what the topic is going to be. I'm sure it'll be something interesting. And it has just been great to have you guys. Thank you, Mason. Damon, thanks so much for coming on. It's been awesome.
I missed the podcast.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun,
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for getting it going again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this summer is going to be wild for the podcast. We are going to be really.
We're doing it by the river again.
Oh yeah. We're doing it by the river.
And another exotic place.
I was just going to say we're just getting our feet wet right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get really good, guys. We're really gonna step it up here, because we took a break and we let you guys down, so we're gonna get right back into it.
And stay tuned for other crazy stuff we do.
Yeah.
We always
the New York trip video is gonna be coming out soon on the YouTube channel. I should be pointing to the GoPro now because the other cameras died. But
really?
These cameras run short, but it has been a great podcast. We'll be back next week. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you share, like, comment, retweet, subscribe, and give us a good review if you liked it. And we'll be back next week. This is the Ethan Clerc Podcast Show. Take care.